Hi, I'm Bobby Ansari, and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Interior Frontier, where we'll be exploring the modern day search for the transcendent in a modern world that claims to be championing spirituality, but at the same time is doing absolutely everything it can to hollow it out from every aspect of our lives. So, when I was younger, I used to think that spirituality was something people either did or didn't, and that it belonged to churches, mosques, temples, monasteries, and holy books, and that it was something that was kind of separate from everyday life. But the older I get, I realize that that's just not true. I think despite everything that we've been told, despite all the noise that we're living under and that we're bombarded with every day, and that we're living in one of the most technologically advanced periods of human history, people are still searching. They're searching for meaning, they're searching for beauty, they're searching for the transcendent, they're searching for something that feels more real and less performative. And I think what's most interesting of all in all of this is that people are searching for all of these different things in places they don't expect to find them: in film, in music, in literature, in travel, in arts, in religion and mythology, psychology, and symbolism, perhaps in moments of deep grief or moments of deep wonder, and also in stories that refuse to leave us alone long after we've finished with them. So, let's say, for example, why do the stories from the Chronicles of Narnia still resonate with many of us decades after those books were written? Why do the myths and legends of The Lord of the Rings still speak to millions of people around the world? Why do certain songs from particular artists feel less like entertainment and more like prayers that we haven't been able to articulate ourselves? Why does hope continue to matter in stories like the Shawshank Redemption, in an age that tells us that hope is naive or immature or juvenile even? These are the kinds of stories that fascinate me, and these are the kinds of stories that I'm going to be exploring here. So this channel is really an exploration of spiritual longing in the modern world, not spirituality in marketing, certainly not spirituality in self-help books. And this in particular is a point that I'm going to be returning to many, many times over. Not spirituality as performance, but spirituality as a genuine human hunger, a hunger for meaning and a hunger for connection, a hunger for something larger than just ourselves. So, we're going to talk about what's real. We're going to talk about what's fraudulent, what's fake, what's phony, because there's a lot of that as well, what's counterfeit. We're going to talk about why some teachings seem to deepen us while other teachings may leave us cold, and why. We're also going to examine the rise of wellness culture, the popularity of some gurus, the dangers of new age frauds, plastic shamans, and some of these gurus that have gone wild, and the strange ways that the sacred continues to reappear in a world that insists that it's outgrown completely when it just hasn't. Some of what I say may challenge your assumptions. Some of what I say you may find controversial, and that's fine. I'm not here to convince you of what to believe in, what to say, or what to think. I'm just here to ask you to think deeper about some of these questions that really matter. So I'm not a guru. I'm not a teacher. I'm not speaking on behalf of any religion or movement or ideology. I'm a fellow traveler, a fellow student and observer of life. I'm somebody who's spent a lot of her time thinking about these questions and the intersection of spirituality, culture, meaning, and the human experience. Because I really suspect that despite all of this noise that we're living under and all these distractions that we're always bombarded with, I think many of us are still asking the same questions. Has the sacred really disappeared completely from modern life? Or maybe, just maybe, it's found a better hiding place. So if these questions fascinate you or interest you, then I hope you'll join me. Welcome to the Interior Frontier.